Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Th000 versus Colorful. Colorful spawning as the purple night elf on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Th000 randoming human here on the bottom left hand side of Amazonia. Game 1 in this series, as I am speeding things up just a little bit, and we'll see what type of Archmage opening we will have from Th000. Now, Th000 will most likely try and militia creep out relatively early, try and gain that Brilliance Aura advantage that is oh so common for humans. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at Colorful opening up with that typical Ancient of War creep, followed by most likely a Demon Hunter. Yes, it is. Now, in this Archmage versus Demon Hunter matchup, it's always very, very important to keep track of how much mana is on the Archmage. I have often seen the Demon Hunter purposely take and absorb a good amount of damage in order to just mana burn that Archmage. But that strategy only works if you can make sure that Archmage doesn't get to level 2 very easily. Now, with this 5-3-3 creep camp opening, it looks like the Archmage will have no problem getting to level 3, or excuse me, level 2 at all by clearing out this second creep camp. Meanwhile, back off to the north, the Demon Hunter sitting at level 1 does pick up a Circlet of Nobility and is now looking for a way to get to level 2. So far, Water Elemental absorbing a good amount of damage, Archmage already at level 2 with that Brilliance Aura, and that Archmage is pretty much going to be a thorn in the side of that Demon Hunter for quite a bit of time. Now, the Archmage is already down to 80 or 90 some odd mana, and the Demon Hunter should be going for another mana burn here. I don't know if the cooldown wasn't quite right, and a little bit of a mistake there not getting the detonation off. So far, we should be looking at perhaps a second call to arms here, and there's that second call to arms to try and clear out this gold mine. The timing is just right in that the Archmage really wants to try and creep out to this creep camp, but if he gets mana burned once more, he is going to be a little bit behind here. No, he is not going to get mana burned, and now all of a sudden Th000 is going to have 2 water elementals, a good 1,000 hit points worth of damage absorption at his ready. Demon Hunter now going up against the Archmage here, getting a superficial 46 mana burned off of that Archmage. Not going to really hold him back at all, as things are not going well for Colorful. Colorful is going to have a bit of a hard time as the Abolish magic allows the Demon Hunter to get to level 2. However, the creeping and perhaps that additional Wisp allows the Archmage to get to level 3. A bit good of pathing there by Th000, but it looks like the Troll Shadow Priest will end up getting his last breath through the fireball of an Archmage, and it does get taken down. Archers now hiding and shadow melding off there, as the Demon Hunter doesn't have that many options here in this middle part of the game. You can see that Th000 is opening up, or already following up with a quick town hall off of these 5 peasants. He's going to speed build this, and he should be trying to clear out this mercenary camp relatively soon. Meanwhile, the Archmage is now going to be chasing down this Demon Hunter, as the number of footmen is really putting the Demon Hunter in a rather uncomfortable position. We should be going into dual Ancients of Lore for those Dryads to start abolishing magic on the Water Elemental, and this is going to be one of those instances and times in the game when Colorful will actually have a bit of an advantage. By being able to abolish magic a level 2 Water Elemental, he should end up getting a good amount of experience onto that Demon Hunter. The problem is going to be if that Water Elemental gets to level 3. That additional bonus hit points just makes it that much more difficult for the Dryads to save up enough mana to really take down those units. In addition, the fact that the Footmen will most likely be teching defend as well is going to make Dryads a rather uncomfortable choice. Demon Hunter unable to... Oh, Dust of Appearance onto the Archmage. Archmage, that was a reveal, as the Demon Hunter is going to be able to perhaps take down the Archmage. Archmage needs one more hit, and there is the Scroll of Town Portal forcing a burn there, as we now see the Panda coming down. Alright, Colorful now being forced to retreat with that Goblin Shredder. Demon Hunter, Staff of Teleports into the Panda, as the Panda now comes in with the Breath of Fire. Very, very strong tactic here. You can see a bit of damage being absorbed here as there is no Staff of Preservation on the Panda. That could be a little bit of a problem as there's a Breath of Fire allowing the Demon Hunter to back off and not get in too much harm's way. The Panda getting those Breaths of Fire off, very, very critical in this fight here. If he can get perhaps all of those footmen down to below 70 hit points, the Panda could start huffing and puffing and blow down more units to his advantage. Archmage quickly drops another water elemental. Speed building of the Arcane Vault, as I don't believe Th000 was expecting to actually get pressured at his expansion this much. The problem, though, is the fact that the Demon Hunter and the Panda are low on hit points and will be forced to try and run all the way back home to not that many Moonwells. Colorful only at 2 Moonwells, with a third one being constructed. And that is going to really steal any of the momentum that Colorful was hoping to latch onto. Let's take a look at this. Arcane Tower is right there. Goblin Shredder does have a Wisp there to repair, and this Wisp is doing its job, as the Wisp now needs to be very careful. Goblin Shredder down to 139 hit points. As we're looking at the Demon Hunter coming in for the engagement. Mana burn onto the Archmage once more. Where are those Dryads? Where are the production buildings? And there they go, finally getting those Ancients of Lore up. I do think that it feels a bit delayed, and Colorful seems to constantly be fighting against an uphill battle, as Th000 has constantly had more and more supply. Supply count 47 over 48 compared to 27 over 40. No real indication why one should have that much of a gold advantage and supply advantage over the other, as the sheer number of footmen are going to be a big problem. Chimeras are not going to be anywhere on the field anytime soon, and with that many footmen, you really need a serious source of magic damage to try and counter that. Yes, the Panda is fairly effective, but at level 1, it is just not fast enough to try and take them down. You saw the Abolish Magic there. Dryad going to finish off this water elemental pretty much. There it goes, apparently wanting to give the kill to the Dryad, as the Dryad sits at 40 mana with really no way to abolish any more magic. Now, a big problem with those Dryads to try and take down water elementals is Abolish Magic does cost 75 mana. That means even a full Dryad can get 2, at most 3 Abolish Magics off in a fight. You can see a quick Abolish Magic there, as the Dryad now in a little bit of a situation. All right, Breath of Fire, Archmage is in a bit of trouble. Is it going to get taken down? That is a big question there, as there's the Potion of Invulnerability. Demon Hunter now surrounded, going to use a Staff of Teleportation to get away, and the Demon Hunter is actually in a very bad spot, down to 43 hit points, as there is a Breath of Fire. All right, Demon Hunter now needs to figure out what to do here. He cannot take a fireball from the Archmage, as that would just be near death. There's a mana burn onto the Archmage to stop the very, very critical Scroll of Regeneration. That was huge, as the Archmage now sits at 170 hit points, very awkwardly, unsure of what to do. But we now see Th000's Micro purposely using Defend on the incoming missile piercing attack to try and reflect that damage. All right, you can see that footman quickly use Defend now out of it. You do not want to use Defend needlessly, as what ends up happening is you just take more damage, as that unit is much, much slower. Dryad getting a bit of taste of her own medicine there with the reflected spear, as we now see the Demon Hunter try and get another mana burn off. Not in time, as the Demon Hunter still only at level 2. Double Abolish Magic takes down the water elemental, as the Demon Hunter now needs to back away and is really hoping for level 3. Now, the longer this game goes, the better it will be for Th000, as Th000 is already getting up dual Arcane Sanctum and has a very strong economy behind him. He has about a 2-minute advantage in terms of just gold banking, and then even more on top of that when you compare the supply amounts. Colorful sitting at only or sub 40 or just at 40 supply. Meanwhile, 47, 48 for Th000, as Th000 is sitting rather comfortably. This Demon Hunter is perhaps one of the most gutsy units I have seen in quite some time, as the Demon Hunter now needs to back away, gets to level 3, and that little bit of experience should help. Now, the problem is going to be that Druid of the Claw, who does not do that much damage in Druid form. Yes, 20 to 26 damage is sizable, but cannot really deal enough damage to the surrounding mass number of footmen that we have here. Archmage now at level 2. That means that he will get level 2 Brilliant Aura, meaning more water elementals could be in the works. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter still at 3, and what is going on here? The Panda now trying to get to level 2. You see Druids of the Claw still staying in Druid form, which is important to do. Well, perhaps staying in Druid form just because he is forced to. Mastery training not yet quite done. Demon Hunter looking for perhaps an Archmage to mana burn. Not going to be able to find one. Perhaps going to try to mana burn Priest instead. No, decides against that. As you see, a Tree of Life has been constructed here at what I'll call the 12 o'clock location. Colorful using that Tree of Life to absorb and mitigate a lot of damage, but he still has a lot of work to do to try and make up all of that lost ground. Rock Golem gonna get taken down. Panda gets to level 3, and at a level 3, all of a sudden this is a completely different WarCraft 3 game, as Breath of Fire with Potion of Greater Mana could really blow down all of these footmen, mortar teams, and priests. I am surprised that, oh, there are the Spellbreakers. I was going to say, I'm surprised we haven't seen the transition to Spellbreakers yet, just as Th000 sets and trains up too. Tree of Life going to be taking its time entangling this gold mine. Down over here, Archmage ready to escort these mortar teams to deal serious damage. The mortar team's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. You can see that Orb of Venom really dealing a lot of damage. There's another mana burn as a Breath of Fire blows down the mortar team here. Demon Hunter does have anti-magic shell to protect itself, I believe, from slow, as another mana burn goes down on the Archmage. Beautiful Staff of Preservation. And the Panda, oh, getting siphon mana'd by the Blood Mage. The Blood Mage, a big surprise, as I was really expecting either a Mountain King, Naga Sea Witch, or Paladin as a third hero. Blood Mage doesn't work out nearly as well. Well, it doesn't work out nearly as well at all. It will be able to siphon mana and shut down perhaps the Panda, but the Panda did use a potion of greater mana to get back up and running. All right, this Druid of the Claw should perhaps hang back. No reason to stay in a fight if you're at 44 hit points, unless, well, you are a Zergling, at which case you have 9 more hit points than your max. Footmen now making their way off to the north here, and there's actually been some discussion about whether or not I should have the hit point bars on in WarCraft 3. Well, one of the big reasons why I have the hit point bars on in WarCraft 3 is WarCraft 3 is much more micro-based than StarCraft 2. Some players were saying, you know, you really don't need hit point bars in StarCraft 2, and I 100% agree. Pretty much size storming units, you pretty much know if you're size storming Zerglings, they're probably gonna die if they run through it. If you size storm Marines, probably that as well. Marauders, not so much, and the units just tend to stick around a fair bit longer in WarCraft 3 than compared to StarCraft 2. With that said, if you guys feel that the hit point bars are getting in the way, let me know, and I'll try to turn them on and off all throughout this, as we see Colorful Sentry Ward quickly getting spotted and destroyed. Demon Hunter sitting at level 3 with plenty of mana to go. Same is true for the Panda. The Dryads will have to be extremely careful, as the Dryads could get shell-shocked by those mortar teams in a matter of seconds. Mortar teams now looking to back off here. Are they going to be able to do enough? You can see Kobold Tunneler now going to get taken down here. No real reason to try and creep this out, even though the Blood Mage is getting closer to 3. Maybe perhaps the Archmage is far enough back to get the Blood Mage to 3, and yes, it is. All right, so the Blood Mage is at 3 and the Archmage is at 5, somehow giving a huge level advantage to Th000. Th000 now just chasing down the Demon Hunters and the rest of these units. This is not looking good at all. Flying Machine, oh my goodness, Flying Machine forcing the Demon Hunter, or getting the Demon Hunter to bait the attack and take it down. with the Orb of Venom, and with that, the Demon Hunter, who pretty much had an easy escape out, ends up falling at level 3. Colorful making a huge mistake there, but I don't think it will have an outcome on the game. The Blood Mage and the Archmage are just that much further ahead that Colorful will be tapping out and giving the GG here shortly. Flame Strike onto all those Druids of the Claw, and there is the GG by Colorful. A 17,000 score difference, and you can see in every category, resources, heroes, and units, Th000 taking a dominant lead. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game number 2.